Before getting started, this is the slit we're going to do. It is a slit, for example, for the back of the skirt, and we have added lining. It is all sewn in one, so we got here the back side and it's attached, so we got a nice look at the inside as well as the outside. To prepare this, I got at first my outer fabric. Here I have just marked my seam allowance. At centre back I got 2 centimetres, all the other way I just got 1. The reason why I mark it is that these 2 cross points are very important because we're going to be very accurate when we do this. The lining, as you can see, is not the same on left and right side. So that's the reason why my pattern looked like this. Because we're going to attach it to each side. Now again, to prepare, I have marked my seam allowance because I need these 2 cross points again to make it as accurate as possible. So now we have done our preparation, we can start sewing. What I do at first is sew the back seam and this part, and as I said, there are 2 centimetres of seam allowance at centre back and 1 centimetre the rest of the way. Now going down to the first cross point and stopping exactly at that point, then you turn your fabric and sew to the last cross point, not all the way through, just to the cross point. So now we've sewn it here and here, and we need a little cut to make sure we can fold it properly. When I done this, before I done it, I actually made a notch here where the hemline is going to, and I made a notch here to tell me how the slit is folded, so I know when it's folded it's going to look like this. Before going further, we got to open up the seam and cut a notch into that cross point. This allows me to fold my slit in the right direction and still split my seams. Now along the road it is a brilliant idea to iron as much as possible, so I'm just going to iron what I've done until now. After ironing, you can see that my slit is folded in this direction, and my back side I split the seams and I still got it folded. Now I'm going to prepare my lining. As said before, I started up by drawing these seam allowance lines, and now I just want to put it together. The reason for these cross points was that it was really important to do it properly, so I'm just sewing to the first cross point. Now I need to attach this side to this side. I can't do that without making a notch, so open up and cut a notch to that cross point, the last stitch you made, and now it's possible to turn it and sew in the new line and to next cross point. Again, a notch is necessary, or to cut a notch, because then it's possible to fold it properly. Now if I turn it around, you'll see now I got the inside of my lining, and it's now possible to attach it. Now I have just ironed my lining, but when I did that, I actually managed to do the hemline in the lining as well. So I folded twice to the back side, and then I can stitch it in a second. But you see, here I got my outer fabric. If I place this upon, you can see that this is the way it's gonna look like. So right now I just want to stitch my hemline. Of course, what I'm doing now is in 2 pieces. I do it twice because I've got the left and a right side. If this were a full size skirt, you'll just do it in a circle, of course. So now we are ready for attaching outer fabric and lining. This part is supposed to be here, this part is supposed to be here. So doing that, I just have to turn this around and place it. Now we've got these cross points, and the cross points are important because they are supposed to be upon each other to make sure that it fits. So here I sew from that cross point again down. Now there is just one small thing to remember. When you come down here to the hemline, we got a notch telling us where it's folded. So I do fold it the other way around to make sure I get a really nice corner and a nice finish in the end. Now I can turn the right side out of the slit, and of course make sure it's going to be really nicely here in the corner. If you look at it, you'll see now I got one side already. Now I just need to sew the other one, and this is here. I just fold it again, sew from my cross point down, and just as I did at the other side, I fold it in my notch at the hemline. And here we go. Again, right side out, and you'll see that my slit are nearly done. I just need to iron it. So you got here your slit. So now it's time for ironing. After ironing, my slit is finished. I got here my slit and my lining to cover the back side, and it's actually looking quite okay. If I look at the back side, it looks like this, and my hemline seam, or my hemline of the lining, is covering my hemline at the outer fabric. Did you like what you just seen, and do you want to learn more? Then subscribe.
I'll constantly develop and upload new things, all based upon the professional way of sewing. All the best from me and good luck with your work.